Hey everyone, I just finished watching Godzilla vs. Kong. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see it in theaters, but I will. Let me get through this review quickly, and I will figure out a time to go see it in theater. So, what are the major positives about the movie? Well, let's see. The cinematography, the effects, the battles themselves, all feel big. Like, grand and epic, like the other films do. And this one passes a balance between Godzilla King of Monsters' darker, shadowy, grander story with the brightness and more focus of Kong Skull Island. So this has a perfect balance of the two. Plus, one of the upsides is that there's kind of almost two stories going along, but it doesn't feel whiplashy. It feels as though it's paced in a pretty okay way. So what are the downsides? Well, one of the major downsides is it's a long film. And unfortunately, it feels long. Most of that has to do with the pacing of the actual movie. See, the actual monsters interacting with each other and all that is so spaced out that you don't really get a huge amount. Also, personally, I would have liked to see more of Godzilla. However, I do realize he got his own film. This is more building the confrontation between them, which does feel a little more organic than I was expecting to. One of the major downsides was the character of Bernie. I got a very Transformer-y character vibe from him. He was kind of the bumbling... He's a tech genius, but he's also awkward, kind of stereotype thing. One of the other things that doesn't make any sense, and this is a tiny spoiler, is apparently he has a podcast where he's broadcasting secrets of this tech facility that he works for, and yet it's so popularly known that Millie Bobby Brown's character listens to it, and yet he hasn't been arrested or had anyone go after him. It just seems weird and forced. For me, personally, my favorite actor in the film was Rebecca Hall. I love Rebecca Hall. She's one of the most underappreciated actors in Hollywood, and it was good to see her forefront in the story, in the character role. My favorite movie she's ever done is Christine. A really great, based on a true story, and a tragic one at that. I highly recommend. Kaylee Hoddle, the little girl, did a really well job. Considering she doesn't really speak, she has sign language, and she communicates directly with Kong. That is interesting, that dynamic. It seems a little closer than Millie Bobby Brown's character was to Godzilla, but it has a decent balance the way they did it. Alexander Skarsgård was kind of almost like Reggie in the sense that he was kind of more like the bumbling fool kind of thing, and that was weird to see Alexander Skarsgård in that role for me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Again, these are more minor nitpicks because the majority of the film was enjoyable. It was a good popcorn film. The only major problems I see are really it's somewhat long and the spacing is a little off, but when it comes to the actual fights, when it comes to the actual battles, when it comes to the actual effects and the major action scenes, all of them blow all of that out of the water. They hit it just in the right way, just in the right moments, and just at the right time. It seemed deliberately that they knew that this was the big battles that everyone was anticipating to see, that they really wanted to make it so that both monsters were just as good as the other, and it didn't feel forced. And it works. It works really, really well. More so than even the original film did. So, overall, I'd highly recommend it, although I would specifically recommend watching it in theaters. I only got the pleasure of watching it on my big screen at home, but trust me when I say I want to see it in theaters, and I'm trying to plan a time to go see it in theaters before it leaves. So, those are my thoughts. What did you think of Godzilla vs. Kong? Have you seen it? Leave a message in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you next time.